Hi, it's Elizabeth here for flip through number 5. I am now in my second book that I made for the Fauxbonichis. I use altered composition books, and I've learned a few things along the way. This is a gridded composition book, courtesy of Felicia. I had won a contest, and she sent me one, which I love, and I want to go out and get some more because I really like the gridded sheets better than the lined sheets. One of the things that I've learned is that no two composition books are the same as far as the quality. So the first book that I did in my first flip throughs that had January and February in them, I used just a regular composition book. I probably got it from the supermarket. I don't know. It was just happened to be on my shelf, so I got it. And the pages, I glue 3 pages together to prevent bleed through, and they warped and they bubbled, and it was fine. I'd rather them be a little flatter. And so what I learned to do was, when I'm gluing the 3 pages together, to use my brayer and flatten them out and then put a heavy book on top. It does take a rather long time. It probably took me about a week just to glue the pages together in this book, but it was well worth it. Then this book with the graph paper, it worked out really well, especially using the brayer. And then my third book, which you'll see later, is a Dollar Tree composition book. And I have nothing against Dollar Tree. I like Dollar Tree. I go to Dollar Tree. But their composition books I do not like, because their paper quality, I mean, it's regular notebook paper, so you're not going to get top quality paper in them anyway. But I noticed that with that book, like, I can't even erase without the actual paper coming off. So it's been a pain to work with. But anyway, let's get started on this one because I don't want this to be forever long. Anyway, this is what I did in the front. Made my collage. I love doing collage, and that's another thing I like about the Fauxbonichi, is that you can change the covers. Since I use the composition books, they only have 2 months a piece in them, so each month I can change to a different book and design a different cover, and I just like that. I get bored really easily. So let's get started. So inside, I always put the date. The date down here, so I know which book it is. And this is just scrapbooking paper. I don't really do that much decorating. So this is March 1st. It was a Sunday, so we did Journal It Sunday in the Fauxbonichi group. In the Fauxbonichi group, they do different prompts. They do just a lot of different things. And so if you want to find out more about the Fauxbonichi and belong to a wonderful community of people, I suggest you look on Facebook for Fauxbonichi Journalers. It's called this, Fauxbonichi Journalers, and it's a great group. And in the last video, I made the mistake of referring to the group as a YouTube group, I believe, and that's not true, and I'm very sorry if there was a mix-up. It is a Facebook group. So on this day, it was Journal It Sunday, your favorite season. I live in South Florida, so we have 2 seasons. We have wet season and we have dry season. Wet season is in the summer and into the fall. Late spring, summer, early fall. And then the fall and winter and early spring are the dry months. So in the summertime, we get a lot of rain. We usually, starting in around May, we get rainstorms daily. So a lot of people normally look forward to beach and pool and, barbecues and all that. Well, if you're not doing it in the morning in South Florida, you're going to get rained out if you wait until the afternoon. And then this is just a collage, magazine collage that I had found that is a sea grape tree. And we have one of these at the house in the Keys. I've heard they are native to South Florida, and I've heard they make really yummy jelly. Never tried it, but that's what I hear. This day I had to go for a physical exam, and I had to give blood, And the nurse came in and asked me if I minded if a student came in and took my blood. And I thought, oh Lord, I bruise like a banana. So when I get blood drawn, it either doesn't come out and they've got to stick me a bunch of times, or they blow a vein and I end up looking like a junkie for like 3 weeks because I have bruises up and down my arms. Good news was that he did a wonderful job. It was painful, but I had no bruising at all. So whatever he did it right. Then I took my daughter to Starbucks to reward her for going with me because she hates going to this particular doctor. I'm not very fond of it myself, but you got to do what you got to do. And then we stopped off at Publix to get some fruit so that my daughter could put it in her new water bottle. She's trying to drink more water. She really needs to. She also has dysautonomia, and it's important to drink a lot of water to keep your blood volume up. So she was just trying to put some different things into flavor it up a bit. And then on this day, I was home alone. The kids were at school, and so like I said, I love cutting magazine clippings out and little things, words and stuff like that. And so I like doing that. And so this day I was just playing around in my Fauxbonichi. And as you can see too, I've started to kind of find my niche in the whole Fauxbonichi thing. My little header up here is the same. I always have the number and then the month and the day. And then for this month, each one of these squares, I had a different stamp. And then I always do the weather. And so on this day, I finished my Fauxbonichi cover for this book. And that's why I put this there, because that's on the front. And I received my Posca paint pens, which I absolutely love, except they don't work well at all on the Dollar Tree composition book, which I'm finding out. So, but they worked great in this book, as did everything else. So I'm going to have to ask Felicia where she got this book from, because that's what I want to use next time when I make my next one. We were watching House of Cards on Netflix, and that day I had actually had a pretty decent lunch of boiled eggs and avocados, and then I guess my husband brought McDonald's home or something, and so yeah, then I ruined that. But anyway, oh well. You only live once, right? Then this day was Thursday. The kids were at school, so I had a lot of playtime. So I played in my Fauxbonichi. I was still teaching the creative writing class, the autobiographies, and mine was finally complete. And we had 4 weeks to go, and the kids had to actually turn in their final draft books on, I think, the 10th week, so that I could make sure that everything was graded and perfect, because I was taking them to the store to have them professionally bound. So we needed to kind of finish up. And this down here, my husband's still having health issues with his poor little pancreas. And so we were going to be traveling to Minnesota, to a specialist in Minnesota. And so I put that I must count all things joy, just as a reminder. And then we had a fun creative writing class. We actually had a lot of kids missing because at the university, there was what's it called? A Model UN class that a lot of the kids were involved in. And so we just had fun sharing different assignments we had done in the class. And then we left to go down to the Keys, and we were trying to find a way to unwind. So I said, what a better way to relax and unwind than to go out on the boat. And I think a friend came with us. My son's friend came with us, and we went and had an early dinner at Sundowners, a restaurant that's right on the water. So that was fun. And then in the morning, we went to Keys Bite, and we had breakfast. And at the flea market, my husband found this local artist he's an older man, and he does these beautiful art carvings, and then he paints them. So my husband bought this beautiful one of dolphin, mahi-mahi dolphin, and he hung it up in our kitchen, and it looks beautiful. And of course, while we were at the flea market, we had to pick up our Amish cheese. And for some reason, my husband thinks he needs a 6-seater golf cart. I don't know. Then we have Journal It Sunday, and it was What's Your Perfect Day? And I just want to spend the rest of my life laughing. So you know, that would be my perfect day, my perfect life. And then on this day, in the Fauxbonichi group, they were doing actually the entire alphabet. Like I said, I don't do all the prompts. It just depends on how I feel. It depends on what I have to say. It depends on how my day went, what I'm going to do. So this day I decided to do the letter, and it was letter H, and I put hallelujah, and it's the song Hallelujah. I absolutely love that song, and my son sings it, and it's kind of funny because he's in his room and he just belts it out as if no one's listening. No one can hear him, and I can hear him, and I love to hear him sing, and I wish he would, sing in public, but he won't. And but he has a beautiful voice, and he has always, since he was little, he's just always been a singing kind of kid. And then this day was so I put inspiration, and spring is in the air finally down here. And I was taking a break from grading, but I was completely inspired by my 22 students, because even though I do complain an awful lot about how many papers I have to grade, it was wonderful fun reading all of the different assignments that these kids had. They were really creative and did a great job. And then this day, I have been collecting pens. Ever since I started this Fauxbonichi, I pick up pens here and there, and so I needed a place to put them, so I made a little pen holder out of used boxes that I had, so that was fun. And then I organized my desk, which was a horrible mess, and it took me forever, and I was flat out after that, but I got that done. And on this day here, the kids were in school, and I had papers everywhere, and we only had 2 more weeks to go, so I really had to, spend a lot of time getting all the books together, making sure everybody had all their assignments in. It was crazy, but I had to thank my beauty queen, my daughter, because she helped me gather everything together, make sure all the students had everything they needed for their books, so I was glad for her help. And then on this day, I wrote a little poem about letting the stress go, and driving down to the Keys, because it was Friday. We went to Skipper's Dockside, and we had, my husband had conch chowder, and we had smoked fish dip, and we had some flatbread, and some turkey avocado club sandwich, which is totally yummy, and some nachos, and so that was fun, and it was nice. This day here, I was feeling, fairly well. And so I went kayaking with my daughter, and it was a lot of fun. We go, there's like a little K, I guess you'd call it. So it's about a mile round trip from our house. We paddle down the canal and around the corner, and then through this little inlet here. And it's a nice little shallow place, and it's really nice, and it's a fun trip. So we had a good time there. And then this is Calypso. I named her. My husband had bought her. She's a huge wooden, mermaid. And so that's downstairs in our patio. And so I was just fooling around down there and drew a picture of her. And then this day here was Sunday. So it was Journal It Sunday. And the perfect vacation was the topic. And I found this picture online. So I printed it out and then just kind of copied it and used my Inktense to do it. And that was fun. And my perfect vacation would be anywhere Big Handsome and the Gems are. I would prefer sunshine and ocean waves. This goes with this day. It was just a sucky day, apparently, and I wasn't feeling well. I don't know if the kayak trip did me in or what, but I wasn't feeling well, so it was an in-bed day for me, and I decided to take my book that I use for doodling and whatnot, and I created these little words, words of inspiration. And so that's what I did that day to get out of my funk and try to rest and relax from my busy weekend. And I'll stop there for now, and I thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you on the next flip.